Good afternoon, you lovely people. Budgets, which I don't think a lot of people like talking about, but because I get asked many times from subscribers, could you do a budget? And I keep saying to them, well, it's just, budgets are different for everybody, but I will do my budget, okay? And also, would I do the same things again here in the Philippines? Meaning, knowing what I know now, would I still decide to retire and live in the Philippines? And we'll get onto that a little bit later. But first, we'll do the expenses bit. Now, first off, I'm going to say this. Expenses are different for everybody. Expenses are different in the ways of, are you going to rent, where you're going to live, in what part of the Philippines, are you going to be in the city, are you going to be in the province? They all make a big difference in what you will spend. And, you know, have you got aircon, things like this? Have you got a lot of electrical appliances? Have you got 2 aircons? So all of these make a big difference in people's expenditure, monthly expenditure. Now my monthly expenditure, it's more than what it was because of inflation, but it's not that much more. I would say, all in all, I certainly don't spend over $1,000 a month, US dollars a month. I can live on much less than that. Or we can, because I've got a family, as you know. I've got a wife, I've got a son. And we can live on less than that. But we generally budget around about that, $800 to $1,000 a month. And if we didn't have Kalen, it would be less than that, obviously, because Kalen takes up a big chunk of money because of his milk. And he's coming up to 4 years old, but he's still on baby milk. Not as often as he was, but, you know, it's expensive in the Philippines, people. Baby milk is expensive. So our electric is around about 2,000 pesos a month. Give or take 100 pesos either way. Our food. Now, my wife lives on Filipino food because she prefers that. I don't like it very much. I like some of it. I don't like all of it. I couldn't live on Filipino food all the time. So my wife's food is next to nothing. It really is. It's next to nothing. In fact, she gets most of it from the garden or people's gardens around here where they grow in kangkong and kamote tops and all of that kind of stuff. She loves all that. Me, not so much. So I get things that we get in the West, like beans and whole mushrooms, bacon, pork chops, chicken. I buy beef on the occasion. I don't buy it that often because I find it's okay, but it's not like it is in the West. It's different. Well, it's a different kind of cow, isn't it? It's fed on different things and it's just different. It's okay. You might have to cook it for a little bit longer to make it a little bit more tender, but it's a different texture as well. But it's okay. So my shopping, we spend around about, I'd say, 6,000, 7,000 pesos a week on shopping. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. Put it this way, every time we go into the city, we spend money. We spend money. When we don't go into the city for 2 or 3 days, we save money. Because there's nothing much here to get. Vegetables are relatively cheap here, except potatoes. You'll find them a little bit more expensive from time to time, like 150 pesos a kilo they were here the other day. So yeah, you got to shop around. The vegetables here are fairly fresh. They are not exceedingly fresh in places. But if you go to certain places at the weekend, there's a place here at the weekend where everyone comes down from the mountain and they're selling their produce, and it is very fresh. Like I've seen carrots here that, they're like boomerangs. You can get hold of them. It's like a piece of elastic. You can bend them so they touch. But I've also got carrots where you try and bend them and they would snap where they are that fresh. Broccoli is expensive in comparison. Cauliflower, if you can get it, is expensive in comparison. But the Filipino vegetables is cheap. I think are cheap anyway. The fruits are cheap, in my honest opinion. The tropical fruits. Obviously, apples are more expensive here and things like that because there's not the places where they grow them like they do in the UK. So you have to account for things like that. But our expenditure per month, $1,000 a month tops, and 800 roundabout. So if you can, and also I think a big thing is if you've bought your house. If you bought your house, you got no rent. You got like a bit of taxes to pay, which is every year. It's minimal, people. It's minimal. So the big expenditure is buying the land and building your house. That's probably the biggest expenditure that you're going to have. Or if you want one of these Raptors and things like that, what people drive around in, which I can't see the need for. We've got this little Suzuki van, and it's great for us. It's good for a bit of camping. It's good for going out to do a bit of fishing when these typhoons and the weather permits. This is good for us. And I think as well, and I've seen foreigners in them when they have these big four-wheel drives, you are attracting attention to yourself. You are attracting attention to yourself. You don't really want to be doing that unless that's the kind of person that you are, where you want to attract attention to yourself. Like, oh, look at me, I've got, one of these 2 to 3 million peso Raptors or whatever they cost. I think they are around about that money. Okay, so that's as deep as I'm going to go into a budget, people, because I don't like talking about it, because that's all it is for us. Now, what I do want to talk about is, would I do the same things again? And I've been here now, May, June, July, August, October, November. I've been here now for 8.5 years. Okay, so I think I'm qualified to be able to say what I'm going to say. For me, I like the place. I love the place. I'm part of the community. I've adapted. I fitted in very well. And I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. For the things that have happened to me when I first came here, I was green. Like a lot of us are when we first come here. We let our hearts rule our heads. I come unstuck. But I still didn't let it beat me. And I wouldn't let it beat me. Simple. I think I'm made of more than that. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Put it that way. And I know a lot of people wouldn't even dream of coming to the Philippines. And that's fair enough. Because, like I said before, it is a developing country, and you mustn't forget that. It's got a lot of issues. It's got a lot of problems. But I think if you can overcome that, like today, we had a brownout today because there is a typhoon further north. And there was some winds and rains today, so we had a brownout, okay? It's no big deal. You get used to it. I've got a little generator, which I start that up, and it gives us what we need. We're back online. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Put it that way. I would think that if you are pretty easygoing and you can adapt to the surroundings in where you're living, and you like friendly people, you would get on here as well. You would. And I mean, there are, you got John from a British expat in the Philippines. He's been here for a similar time. I think he's been here for longer than me. And he's the same, he's had a few, problems and that, but he loves it here. He wouldn't want to move away. Ian living in the Philippines. He's been here for a number of years. He has problems as well with the flooding, but again, he wouldn't want to live anywhere else. And you've got the crew from Dumagetti. They've been here for years and years as well. They wouldn't want to live anywhere else. So when you get people talking down the Philippines, many of them have been here and just can't get on with the place. They can't get on with how it is, like I said, a developing country. But for the people who haven't been here and talk down the place, then really, you're not really entitled to do that, are you? Because you're just doing hearsay. You're just listening to other people and assuming that everybody is telling the truth about things. Now, like I've said before, the Philippines isn't paradise. It's not paradise at all. But it's not a bad place either. If you like the tropical climate, which I do, sometimes the humidity gets to me a bit. It gets to the Filipinos as well sometimes. But hey-ho, can't have everything, can we? I think the Philippines, for me, is the place that I will die here. There is no doubt in my mind that I will die here eventually. Would I ever want to live anywhere else, like in another Southeast Asian country? I've never been to another Southeast Asian country. I've only been here. I've been to East Asia. I wouldn't want to live in those countries, Japan, South Korea. I love it here. I do, people, really. And a lot of you might think, well, how can you love it there? Well, I do. There is nothing bad for me here. People can't deal with brownhouse. To me, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. There is more good things here for me to mention than bad things. In fact, I'm trying to think of a bad thing. What is a bad thing? Well, a bad thing is different for everybody else, but the only thing that I don't like here is, and it seems to be remedied now, is families when they're asking. And when you don't give, they get a bit, they take umbrage to it. That's the only thing that I don't like. Waiting in queues, I'm kind of used to that now. ATM machines being offline more than online where I am here in the province, and there's only 2 ATMs here. And then if they are offline, I have to go into the city, go to the bank. That can be a bit of a peeve sometimes, but what I normally do now is draw out enough money to last me a week. I don't hoard lots of cash in the house. No need. There's no need. So there's ways around everything. You just got to be forward. You've got to think forward in advance a little bit more. Okay. So let's just say, you want to get your visas. I mean, I'm on a 13A now. And just recently I went through, which I've always gone through, JR. They are, in my opinion, some people might have had a bad experience with them, I don't know, but I've only had good, and I've only seen good things about them. But I had to get my 13A. It's called restamping. I had to get it transferred, my 13A, into my new passport, because my other one, my old passport, it was expiring. And it takes time, because it's got to go to Manila, then it's got to go back to Cebu, then it's got to be sent to me. And things aren't done here like they are in the UK. There's no rush here. And I think that might be the biggest problem of some foreigners coming here, is you've got to have patience. You've got to have patience. If you're an impatient person, then you're probably not going to like it here, because no matter what you do, it takes time. It takes time. Like, you might go shopping in a supermarket and there is like 6 tellers, but only 2 tellers are on. So you got to queue up, stand, and there's no kind of self-service where I am. So you have to queue up. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, because there's always people to talk to. You can make friends with the person stood in front of you or the person stood behind you. Filipinos, they are just talkative and very hospitable and friendly people. So that doesn't bother me whatsoever. It might bother you. It might. But I would hell, I would do this all again in a heartbeat. There's nothing bad I can say about the place, really. Like I said, it's not paradise. So, you've got to get that out your minds, when you think you're going to come. It's not like Mauritius and places like that. And I mean, I've been to places where it is like a paradise, but I couldn't live in them places. And I couldn't live in them places because normally it's not going to be as friendly. It's more expensive for a start. You pay for a first world country. You pay through the nose for places like that. So you've got to be understanding of developing countries and its problems. But a lot of us come here not because we can't. And I said this before. And the people who think this, I just don't know where they're coming from. But we don't come here because we're broke. We come here because it's our way. It's the way we want to live. When we do live here, some people come, some people go, some people haven't even been here at all, and they still slag the place off, which they're not entitled to do that. Yes, there are scammers here. Of course, there is. There are opportunists everywhere. So you can't make that a reason to not come to the Philippines. Just be careful. Just there are plenty of videos out there, warning videos of. Do we take heed? I don't know. Especially when there's a woman involved. Our hearts rule our heads generally. Our heads might be saying, "Ooh, shouldn't be doing this," but our hearts are saying, "Yeah, jump in, go on, beautiful lady, jump in." And this is just how some of us can get stung. So that's it, people. Really, it's just a very, very, it's a very short and video about. Yes, I would come here. There is nothing that I don't like about the Philippines except the family wantings, and the budget. If you've got between $800 and $1,000 a month, you can live here. Different parts of the Philippines, I don't know because I don't live there. I only live in Zamboanga del Norte. I only live here, and I only go on by the rates here. Like a decent apartment here, 2-bedroom apartment, is only 5,000 or 6,000 pesos a month, and they are decent. They are not run-down places. They are decent places. You would have to maybe. I mean, if you want an aircon, there is normally a hole in the wall for it. You have to get your own aircon and put that in there. But you can pay a little bit more and you can get a place with aircon already in it. So that'll be your biggest expenditure, I think, is your electric, if you run an aircon, and your accommodation. But it depends how much. It depends on your level of living. And that's all I'm going to say. I mean? That's why I can't really do a budget video. I can only do one of what I spend. I can't give any advice to you because you might live differently to me. And we go out, 2 or 3, 4 times a week. We go out and we go into different places. So that's not just being sat in the house. We do go out and we go out regular. Our gasoline for this is. We spend about 1,000 pesos a week, maybe, on gasoline. It's only a 650cc engine, people. That's why I like this thing. It's brilliant. It's reliable. It's cheap to run, and it does what we want to do. You get a big engine car, you put more gasoline in, aren't you? So that's another reason why I wouldn't want a big engine car. This is enough, and you can't really build up speed here. Because the traffic on the road, you kill yourself or you kill other people. It's crazy. So that's it, people. Anyway, thank you always for dropping by. And I've been getting also, quickly before I go, I've been getting some messages from subscribers saying my new content is not, they are not getting my new content. Now, there's a few other YouTube channels as well. There's something going on in YouTube with the algorithms or something like that. Many people are not getting the views that they used to. I'm not. Some people are not getting their videos are not being shown to everybody. Mine's not. because I'm getting messages from people saying, where's your content? I'm saying, I'm putting content on all the time. And they said, well, you know, we aren't getting it. So what I want to say is search for my channel, you know, Philippines Life Through the Eyes of an Expat, and you'll be able to see my content on there. But I don't know what's happening with YouTube, but there's many channels, many channels. Filipina P is one of them as well. Her videos are not being shown either, and she's not getting the views that she was getting. And this has been going on for a couple of months, and I noticed and I thought, what's going on here? But something's going on, and there's a lot of channels who are saying the same things. Some channels are doing very well, you know, they are, but something's going on with the algorithm. Don't know what it is, but something's going on. So please search, you know, for my new content if you're not getting it. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you've got a chance of seeing new content, and you know, please subscribe if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it'd be nice if you do. And thank you, people, for always taking the time to listen to me rambling on about things. But I try and keep it real. I keep it as best as I can. And it looks like Sick Grandpa has got a libel case against him. Good on you, Mike, for doing that. I think all of us should stick a libel on him, because he's just bad news, isn't he? He's just vile. He's a vile man. He's definitely a narcissist. He's just a vile, horrible man who just talks down every channel. Can't you think of his own content? Has he got to, you know, troll other channels and think, oh, I'll do one of him. He's done a few of me, but it's up to him. But I think now is going to change things. Mike's done a libel against him. If he continued doing one against me, I would as well, because it only cost you $1,000. That's all it costs you, and then you can sue the man. Anyway, take good care, people. Thank you very much, and I hope your weekend is going to be a bloody good one. Bye-bye.